All right, we're taking two.
Okay,
If this works this
that
time.
working? Is it working?
I mean, I can hear you this time. We are live. Okay, team meeting.
Okay.
Sorry,
Team
this
meeting. All right, I don't even
is
care.
super short notice, and I do have to go in and delete the other one, which I will do while you're talking.
Okay.
But I already played the intro and everything, so it was dumb. Let's just stop to do it
Okay.
again. It was dumb. Hold up.
I just oh super exciting. I just dropped my phone and the screen shattered even further. Okay.
Oh, well,
Hey,
that's part of the
Kaz.
course today. Hi, you got Kez. I'm so glad you're here. Thank you for being here. And even if it's just you tonight, I'm just, wow, that's loud. Mute, mute. Oof. Even if it's just you, we're so thrilled that you're here. Thank you. Thank you for being here. And like our original, you're like our OG. Kez, our OG. Oh, that was embarrassing. Okay, do not slay me for that. I don't even know what accent that was. We wanted to come in and show you guys something. Oh, we're the ones who are honored, love, really. So we wanted to show you guys something really quick that we were listening to Jen Liu at the Word Case Studies and talking through some things, which we oftentimes do while someone's live. We, hang on a second. It's already wanting to remove me from the live. So weird if it happens. You are
I'll keep it
all
muted.
you.
Kaz
But
and I got this. She's honored. Look.
I know. I just said that. I said we're the ones who are honored. I wanted to just we talk through things, and I have not been. I watched the first part of the trial this morning, but I had some appointments this afternoon, and just crazy day. But LFT was filling me in on some amazing things that she was looking at, and then we were listening
Hey,
to Jen Liu.
MK.
We were listening. Oh, thank God. Thank you. Hi, MK. Thank you for being here, you guys, really. CK. Oh, you guys are the
CK.
best.
Okay, CK Bell's gonna be
CB Kel.
CB Kel. But in my head, this is gonna go swimmingly. This is amazing. In my head, I go CB like CB Bell, like, but I know when I type it.
We're so glad you guys are here. Thank you so
Yes.
much. So anyway, like I was saying, we were talking through some stuff, and we just wanted to present some things that are questionable. We're not saying this is for sure yet, but there's some things that we're like, hold on. Hey, you okay? What up?
Hey.
By the way, you guys, Kate is doing the cutest diamond painting of her lizard. It makes me giggle. It's the funniest. It's like her lizard smiling at her. It's the cutest thing. I swear to God. It is. She showed it on Jen Liu's just a minute ago on Jen Liu's last live, and it's super cute. She's working on this diamond painting of her lizard, and I absolutely freaking love it. But anyway, okay, back to Murdaugh. Sorry. Okay, so what do you want to talk about first? We have so many things we are withholding from you guys, by the way. Just so
okay. I've been I think probably actually everyone who's sitting here listening to us right now has been around all day where I've been chatting about this, and I will have to say CB Kel may know that, like, I've been just simmering all day because I came across some things that I had not quite seen yet, or had like epiphany-ish moments where things clicked for me, where I was like, wait a minute, I think I just found something that was answering an issue that we were having in trying to line up his statements and rundown of that evening and how it compared to the evidence, especially the digital evidence, whether it be the phone or the car. And I think we hit something that explains a ton. And then we also found CB Kell and Kate. Those are two people who've been so amazing and looking and digging into all this as well. I will have to share one of the pictures is kind of, well, not graphic, but just.
It's very graphic.
Yes. But the one I sent you, the original one this morning of just from the body cam. Maybe we could share that one, do you think? Because CB Cal, this is what I was talking about. Something. Yes, I found the thing.
Spill it. Spill it. Dying.
Stop it! Please don't yell at me at nighttime.
I'm super excited.
I know.
She was just hooting and hollering before we go live. Literally, like, oh my god, and now she's like, don't yell at me.
No, one of them. The thing I did find the screen. I did get a screenshot of the monitors in the courtroom, and it's the out of park data stuff from that day, and it's intriguing to see. But what really got me, what I woke Tia to this morning, was a picture from the body cam of I can see Paul. I used to only be able to see Maggie, and I found Paul, and it explains, like, it gives a very different, like, I have a better understanding of his positioning and how that actually looked.
Also, I think it brings into what MK said the other night about the force of the ammunition hitting the body and how it could have turned him.
Yes.
And how he felt. You know what I'm saying? Hey, Shabane.
Holy
cow. Thanks for coming in here. Wow, that's really nice of you. Hey, welcome.
Right, I'm sending it to myself again. 1 second.
You're gonna say, okay. It's a hard not video. Come on, Tia, get your shit together. It's a hard picture to see, but I just want to, especially a shock. Right. Well, let me just tell you, MK, I have kept in mind what you said. Like, you really did, and I've said this on, I think, Jen Lewis panel, like, you did teach us something, because I'm not very educated, especially when it comes to shotguns or anything like that. So I appreciate you're putting that out there, because it helped me when I saw this photo to kind of go, oh, I see what you're talking about there. And it is, again, like, it does truly help. Hi, Aussie True Crime.
Tia, I'm sending this to you in Messenger just so I can get it off my computer.
Yeah, that's cool. Shabane said, love you ladies. I usually lurk and catch up on the great updates. Y'all are doing an awesome job. Really?
Thank you.
Well, that's awful kind of you. Welcome here. We love, we see you over in Teresa's, and we just adore you. So we're glad you popped over. Thank you. Thank you for lurking, by the way. Aussie, another OG. She's been here from the
I've never had someone lurk. I love it.
We've had lurkers. We have a couple lurkers.
Okay.
It's okay. We welcome the lurkers too. Let me know whenever you're ready, and I will hit the present button. But okay, so there's that picture, which again, like, trigger warning, it's late at night, hopefully. Trigger warning. I don't even know how to say trigger warning this many times. This is a rough photo, but it does show his position, which I think is interesting as far as things that Kate has been talking about, which is where the suspect, we'll call him the suspect. Hi, Harry's. Where they might have been. It's tough to tell, but there's a lot of things you can see this picture and go, it's connecting some dots that Kate talked about, and it's connecting some dots that MK talked about, and it's also food for thought for a number of other things too, which we're going to bring up, like parking jobs. Location of cars, right?
Yep.
Hey there.
Oh my gracious! I'm so sorry. I felt like I just almost burped right on this.
Oh my.
Did not mute.
There's a couple other things. Okay, so
Oh,
what do you want?
ow! Sorry, I just caught the mic before it fell again. I'm on it. All right, here we go.
I know she's killing me with the suspense.
Excuse me. Present. Okay, I've kind of probably this is going to be so anticlimactic at the very end. It's just going to be like, oh,
we have a couple of things to talk about, so
some of it. Okay, here we go. We have a couple of things, and y'all know us. Like if we're going out, this out there, so people will be able to figure it.
Okay, here we go. Trigger warning.
Okay, I am.
Can't really see it until you see it.
Okay, wait. Let me go in a little bit. Let me go in a little bit further.
Okay.
Does anyone see this right here?
Right there, yeah. Right, that's Paul.
So here is the feed room right here. Y'all, his feet.
Do you want to pull in a little bit?
Yes.
Are you able to? I don't know if you're able to.
I'm trying, and I apologize if it gets grainy because this is taken off the body cam.
And also, we want to be respectful too.
Yes. And remember, right here, I stumbled upon Maggie's, like her legs or feet at one point, and it was kind of jarring. But this one actually, I have to admit, oh gracious, I'm sorry. This one helped me understand.
Closer, maybe?
Not only,
it's hard to say closer. I'm reading chat.
What's that? Oh, I'm so sorry. Let me go again. Oh wait, let me try this picture.
So the way he's laying.
I've got another one already zoomed in. Here we go.
Right. Let me know when you're ready.
Mm-hmm.
The way he's laying.
I believe you're correct.
Mm-hmm. Yes. And his head is turned towards the kennel.
Tia, how's that?
You got to pull in. We're full screen on it. Okay, keep going. Okay, there you go.
I mean, it's huge on my end.
Yeah. Can you guys see that? So, yeah. Well, here's what's weird. And this is an MK question. This is someone who has knowledge. So that's him, God bless him, with his legs and how he fell. But what's interesting are the casings, is that what they call them, the casings, are inside the feed room, okay? Mm-hmm. And again, we are not doing this for exploitation. This is not entertainment. This is we're actually trying to learn and look at this. So please don't take it of any other way other than us trying to learn. And it's Justice Jane. Do you see can you point to you?
Okay. So all these lights over here, for the record, are law enforcement coming up by the kennels.
Mm-hmm.
Here, this is the last actual kennel in the row of kennels. This is the feed room. These are Paul's feet at the right in the door. Khaki shorts, his legs, his left arm right here, because he fell, this will be the left side. This is his back right here. And y'all know the rest. You can see there, where his pants start, where his shorts start, and where his shirt starts.
Also, do you see how lit up it is? Because I think that's important too. Do you see how well lit that is? Like, yes, those are the blue lights and the reflecting off stuff. Yes, right. But do you see how well lit that is from, say, our angle, if you will? Yeah, that's because someone's headlights are on it. Let's take a guess on whose headlights are on it, because that's a whole nother conversation as well. Alec turned his car around to face, and I probably, honestly, I said this to LFT today, I probably would have done the same thing. He turned his headlights on to, it looks like he's facing the feed room. Wait, what are you saying, Kate?
His feet are at his feet
I'll show you again.
The feed room entrance, based on what I'm seeing.
Yeah.
Right. I feel like
yes.
He's walking
and when
out.
You actually pull it in closer, and I just don't want to do that too. Like, I don't want to offend anyone, and I don't want to gross anyone out. And, I mean, you can't see anything. There's other pictures where you can really see. This is not one of them. We're just showing you that where his upper body is, and his feet, his tennis shoes are, and kind of how he was laying, because I think that's super important. I really do.
That, because he's more, it's kind of, I guess now, after looking at, once the bodies had been removed, where you kind of see where the evidence is left behind in terms of spatter and stuff. He really is, I believe his head, the upper torso head area, is very close to the edge of the cement, or the platform right there of the kennels. And I did a side by side. I really, that's not one that we should show. Well, definitely not right now. But I did a side by side that includes this picture with the one that has the sheet. Once the body's removed, y'all know the one.
There's
probably
just
the sheet's
sheet
still
left
there, and you can kind of see it.
Shaving
yeah.
If you want to message us, if you want to friend me on Facebook, I'm totally, we can share. We'll show you. And MK, yes, that is correct. I wanted to just answer him really quick. I'm sorry for interrupting you. You've been trying to understand the victim's positioning based on forensics. So have we. That's exactly it. And we have seen models and, police things, but I can't, it's hard to wrap your head around it. It really is. But if you want to,
when I saw this,
happy.
Like when
chemistry queen,
of course, yes. When Alex says that he went and he tried to flip him over. Now this is in Jen Lou and Kate did they were talking about this earlier as well as last night, but in some conversations that we were just having offline, today, like talking about it, thinking it through, it makes it like there's a chance that potentially maybe, I don't think any member of like any first responders, or maybe they have, but I'm not sure if they've actually touched him or moved him yet at this point in the video or in the still shot of this body cam footage. So I don't know if he was, maybe moved out a little further. My guess is no at the moment.
No,
but
I don't think they touched him.
Yep, I don't think they have.
What SLED said, remember the SLED agent that was on today said he didn't do anything until the ME, who's a clusterfuck in his own right. We'll get to that too. Until the ME was there, and then remember Alec was like, are they? But are they? Well, Alec, you would know because you already checked, right, friend? Right?
Yeah, remember, so Alex already checked.
Yeah. Didn't you already check? You should know the answer to this. Welcome, guys, coming in, by the way. Sorry, this is late notice. LFT, are you there?
Let me find
there you are. You went a little wiry for a minute.
Monkey.
You're good.
Okay. One of the things that this led me to think, though, the other direction that, because we're really thinking through like we're just trying to think this, because something's not adding up, and it's hard to pinpoint what's the first thing, what's the next thing that's not adding up, but something is there. And so once I saw that first image I showed y'all, that was like the wider angle of it. The main thing that I saw was that the way that Alec's car was positioned. And I started thinking about his behavior, his profession, his work as a personal injury lawyer, all this stuff. And I started to realize in my head, I was like, oh my God, he thought this is genius of him in a sick way. And maybe I'm giving him too much credit. But please hear me out, because he knows how crime scenes work. He knows where like the technicalities, how to, go after a bigger company, assess a scene if someone's injured at work. They know what they're looking for. Do you know what I mean? The way he positioned himself by not even going, when he talked to 911 and said that he was going to the house to get a gun for his own safety and he needed to call family. One of the things that law enforcement or the 911 operator had said, not only to Alec, but in the calls about Satterfield and whatnot too, was like, hey, can you is there a way, can you be somewhere visual so that we know where we're going? Because remember, Officer Green was a few minutes delayed because he got turned around as well. Because Alec Murdaugh didn't, once he went back to the house to go get the gun, he didn't drive back down the driveway, take a left out of the driveway, coming through the brick entrance, going out the brick entrance, take a left, and then sit there and wait at the next entrance, the kennel entrance to the property with his hazards on and whatnot to lead law enforcement in. He didn't wait at the street. No, he turned around and went back. He went, quote unquote, ran up to go get a weapon for his own safety, turned around, and he drove back through the property and had his car facing, obviously, towards the kennels and whatnot. But where he positioned it made it perfect that SLED and law enforcement had to enter that area, the crime scene area, coming up by the kennels, which is exactly where everything was taking place. Remember, Paul's by the kennels. He's in the kennel, the video. The hose is potentially being used. Everything, that a very important area is now just being, we got SUVs driving in. We've got men walking back and forth, looking at the scene. He's got them going through everything. And I started to think about it, and I was like, in a sick way, he knew exactly what he was doing. And it bothered me. And I may be incorrect, and people might disagree with me, but I was just, it's always bothered me. And the fact that he says he's very specific and sequential with what happened that night in terms of recapping it for law enforcement. But yet every once in a while, like the day his father passed away and he's being interviewed, he says he came home from his mama's. She's got dementia, all this stuff. I went up to the house. It was quiet. No one was there. I turned around and I went, and so I decided I'll go back. I went back over to the kennels. Now you could interpret that back, like I went back to the kennels, as in like I drove back around to the kennels, or had you already been at the kennels, Alec? Because that your mind, your mouth faster than your mind, like you talked before. It didn't compute the way it needed to be said. You're letting it slip. You're sticking to the same story, no doubt, essentially. But you forgot earlier. Remember, you didn't say, I was never at the kennels. That bothered me. Like I was never there. And now now
all of a sudden I'm going back. Why would you go back?
And then I came home from my mom's. They weren't here. So I went back over to the kennels. Why didn't you just drive over to the kennels? Like, why did you go back over? Because you've been there before, maybe, and that's why you let it slip. But you don't even realize you're letting things like that slip. So I just started to think, that's already mind-boggling for, at least in the discussions, or frustrating for myself and for Tia as we're walking through this timeline, because when you're thinking about all that, we're also comparing it to the digital evidence. And it
Ooh,
just
let's
doesn't
get
add up.
into it. Hi, crazy mama. I love you.
Oh, I heart you.
Let's get into the digital.
Digital, okay. So I'm sure maybe other people know about this channel. It's the what's it called? MOB.
Mob.
I'll drop the link. Yep.
The mob.
The mob. He nailed this for me. The one thing I will say, and every piece of research that we have done and every image we have found and everything, there was no gate, like in terms of a closing gate, like a cattle kind of gate at either entrance the night of June 7th, 2021. Think back to even Paul's call about Satterfield when the dispatcher even asked, is there a gate? Like, is there someone to let us in? He's like, no, ma'am, it's just the brick entrance. Just go, come through. That's exactly what it was that night. That gate that was put up.
Do you have that picture?
Oh, yes, I do. Whoa. Yes. Oh, shoot. I got to download it. Sorry. I'm sorry. I thought I had it. It's on my phone and I'm on my, give me 1 second. The whole point is that those gates were not there at the time these unalivings occurred that night of June 7th. They were put up after the fact. So that stopping and starting of the car, like when he's coming back from his mom's, and we're trying to figure out, like, what's that, like 32 seconds or whatever it is. When he's out, he puts it in park. What is he doing? And then it goes right back into park or back into gear. Mm-hmm. And people, my first thought was too, I was like, oh, maybe he's opening the gate. And then I forgot what day Tia and I started talking about this. And I was like, wait a minute, I don't think there's a freaking gate. He asked to be buzzed in at his mother's. He had to get let in there, call, but he didn't have to have a buzzer. He didn't have to get out and open that. There were no gates as far as I have seen. We have seen where they're being put in, installed after June 7th, 2021, but they were not there prior.
June 25th, the gates were there. Okay. Hi, Curly Shirley. Thanks for being here.
Hi.
Because we found, I always want to credit where we find our stuff because we ain't be stealing shit from others. Mm-hmm. That ain't these bitches over here. Fitz News did an article, and in the front of the picture in the article, which we love Fitz News, they get all of our love. Woo, all of our love. Fitz News did an article on June 25th, and I sent it to LFT, and I was like, wait, there's gates. And she's like, no, the gates went in after the 7th. So sometime between the 7th and the 25th of June, 2021, the gate was put up. The two gates were put up.
Both. The kennel entrance and the brick pillar column entrance. Sorry, that's me, so I can download them on.
That's okay.
Sorry.
That's okay.
They saved on my phone, but not here.
It's okay.
So just take your time. Or if y'all find different, please let us know because I haven't been able to debunk that yet.
Yeah, so always if you're new and you don't know this, some of our friends can tell you, Punksy, good morning, I love you. I have something to say. Hold on, wait 1 second. Everybody stop what you're doing and write in chat, happy birthday to one of my best people on the planet, Punksy. It is her birthday right this minute.
Happy birthday, Punksy.
Happy birthday, Punksy. We love you so much.
Birthday.
She is such a pillar of this community, and she's so sweet and so amazing. And I'm so glad that you popped on so that we could be one of the first to wish you a happy birthday. You mean the world to me, and you know that. And I just wanted, she's fucking awesome, man. I love her. But I just wanted to wish her a very happy birthday. So throw a little happy birthday and love to my girl Punksy, if you wouldn't mind. And I apologize for interrupting, but when I saw her pop in, that's the only thing I could think of at that moment.
No, hey, girly Shirley.
Are you ready for me? Is that what that is? Oh, no, not quite, right? I don't see a picture yet. Just the black
Hold on,
screen.
it's open. You can see my screen, right?
Yeah, but I won't put it up until you tell me. Love you too. Let's see. Oh, there we go. Are you ready?
Hold on, give me a second. Because if
Oh,
you can
okay.
see, like I just, yeah, I'm
There
just
we
gonna have to
go.
go back and
Okay.
yeah, we're fine. I just
Yep.
have to go. I just finished my
That's
downloads.
okay. Are you ready? You switched on me. There we go. Okay, can you guys see this clearly? This is a post.
Hold on,
You
I
can see
can
how
zoom in again.
fresh. You can see how fresh the ground is here from where they're digging the post.
Mm-hmm.
Also, our friendly keep out signs. Now my guess is the gate is on the other side.
These are new right here.
That's yeah.
This is new right here. This is what, and this is why the sign has to go right here for now.
Are we on 6 seconds?
I think we are. I literally have, because I had no idea. I can honestly say, I had no idea that you said that. I either actively chose not to listen to you.
A lot of our conversations go, I say something and she goes, wait, look, this is fresh ground. And I'm like, oh, that's so great.
All right.
I love
Someone
this.
just threw me
so right. I mean, but that's the point.
Corner for a while.
No, it's just it was hilarious how you just wait, don't go off. Where are you going? Put your bitch back. What are you doing?
And I literally
put your picture back. What? That is not the picture.
I put in the next one.
Oh, I was gonna. Well, I mean, we didn't really show the post long enough, but okay. I just wanted to show that it was like fresh ground to keep out. And then there's the new. Is that the one that's dated? I can't see that date, but yeah, that's the one that's dated the 25th, right?
Mm-hmm. June 25th.
Yeah.
And now the sign is. This is from you. June 25th, 2021. So they did not go. I am, like I said, I am 98% certain that none of these gates went up until after the June 7th event occurred. They're not there before.
We're going to triple check. But, oh, Punksy, thank you so much. We're supposed to be giving to you. We're supposed to be giving to you. How sweet are you? Thank you so much. We appreciate you. Why wouldn't they have gates up to begin with? That's the first thing we did with our field. Listen, I agree. Shibane, I agree with you. We had gates up. We had gates up. But also, I don't know. I think, honestly, I was surprised that after when they moved in that they didn't put the gates up. And then I was kind of surprised after I hate calling it the boat accident, the Mallory Beach, I like to identify her, the Mallory Beach accident, that they didn't put gates up then, because that's when Alex was like, oh, the media flew into town and there was media everywhere bugging Paul. Why didn't you have the gates up then? He waited until after you murdered. Whoops. Oops, for entertainment purposes only. Whatever.
Do you want me to say it again since you just said it and I pretend like I didn't hear you? And
yeah, I mean, I kind of accidentally on purpose said it. I'm not going to lie, but the family astonishes me. I know. Well, and here's the thing. And if you guys can pay attention to this and tell me if I'm right or wrong on this one, Alec is always playing catch up. Like he's always playing. It's always like one step behind. He's always clean. He's got like the broom in his hand. He's always cleaning something up that he did, but he's not quite ahead of anything. So like Shay just said, why would you do that? Wouldn't you put gates up when you first moved in? Yes. Especially if you have all this money, right? Yes.
But remember too, y'all, but remember, this wasn't always their main house. Like these,
more reason, in my opinion, to put the gates up.
I
More
know.
reason. And we're not talking fancy gates. We're talking Tractor Supply.
The cattle gate, like a cattle
we're
gate,
not talking about
not
electric
electrified,
gates.
not even electric fence, like with like a prickly things on it. It's just. And by the way, and if you have like those little things, like you can't get out of jail because they put those sharp little, like the non-prison versions of the little pointy things on the
razor wire.
Y'all know what I'm talking.
The prickly.
Yes, barbed wire, barbed chicken wire, like barbed wire.
Yeah, he can't get out of his own way. That's exactly what it is.
Neither
That's
can
exactly.
LSD.
Yeah, the cattle gates, right? Like we're not talking about like entry. You know, they have beautiful entry there with the brick, and then they put a cattle gate. Like, okay, you literally went to Tractor Supply through. Okay, maybe Alec didn't, but he had someone go to Tractor Supply and throw a couple stumps in the ground and done. Like that's your idea of security? Okay, I mean. I guess the 87 guns minus 2 weren't enough for you. That the gate that swings out. I don't know.
Yes. Okay. But okay, so are we walking through this right? Does anyone else find this kind of mind-blowing a little bit? Like what you see, the positioning of where unfortunately Paul and Maggie are, and like you're thinking back to the whole scene and like what Alec had told law enforcement, and then we're going back to thinking like, what the flip is he doing when he's coming back to Moselle? Like, what? The in park, out of park, in park, out. Like, what the flip? And also, I found a thing that it was like the one thing that Tia and I, as much as we've been like literally looking at our spreadsheet and going through it, the mob crew gets the credit because that was that I needed someone to give me the answer. Like, what is it that we're missing? And he did it. Do you have any
chance? Can we show his video? It's very short.
I think we can. It's super short. I will link it. The
he had to move the soul horses. Yeah, we call them saddle holders, but yeah, the soul horses, right? He had to move those out of the way. And by the way, he never. This is weird to me too. He never went back to Moselle, the place he loved the most. He never went back after the 7th. Now, poor Gloria Satterfield passed away there, and they were like, yeah, we'll just step over her. Bless her sweet soul. This woman who raised their children and did everything for them, she passes away on the property, and no big deal. And I don't want to say that because I don't really know, but I mean, they still seem to use the home like it was no big deal. You like him? Okay, cool. Yeah. It is a good video. It's a really good video.
It's a great video. It helped. It was what we needed to like, or I feel like it was.
Yeah, it was like the missing link. Look at something he kind of found that missing link. Yeah. And we want to make sure that he gets the credit for it. We want to talk about the gates, Maggie's phone, and the car movements after we talked about the gates already. But Maggie's phone too, and the car movements that you had.
Okay. So I have it up.
Just share it, and we will talk over it and make sure that he gets all the credit. This is not us stealing his work. This is his work. We're sharing his work. We like him. Do not strike us, please.
He's certainly going anything we put. I'm putting a reference. His link is going in our spreadsheet to be like, hey, this is where we've seen it too.
There's a number of people that, yeah.
Okay, so present, share screen.
How many subscribers does he have?
Like boatloads. I'll tell you in 1 second. Present, share screen.
You would like some information on Crazy Cousin?
Share system audio.
Oh, we can give you some information on Crazy Cousin Eddie. Cousin Eddie. If you drop his link, he's okay with it. We'll be happy to drop his link. Thank you, Shay. Yes, we will be thrilled to drop his link once we're done with. If you have the video, okay.
I'm doing actually before we put. Do I play it first?
Holy meccanoli. Drop the link first.
I will drop it in 1 second. Here we go.
We do not need this man striking
we're
us.
good to see.
Our little corner of the world, Mr. 55,000. Good for you. That's amazing. He's clearly doing the work, and I love that. I love to see somebody really dig in like this. So if we can, help you guys find him too. I'm gonna add him on. There he is.
Okay, here we go. Here we go. Share link. Here is his link. Check this out. Copy link.
Okay, Kez. Oh, is that what it is, Kez? Or Shay, thank you. Oh, the
Check
yeah.
Out. Here we go. Copy. Why is my phone? Okay, it's probably because I just dropped it. I have a new little shatter thing on my phone. It's gonna make watching things hide. Okay. Hide this.
Means we need a new phone. A new phone.
I know. I told you everything's broken. Okay.
Broken. Check it out.
Y'all ready? Tell me if y'all can hear
ready for this.
It's gonna. This is amazing. This is
if you don't. If you start to echo, you might have to mute. But keep going. We're gonna just talk right over it because it's only.
Okay. Tell me if I'm echoing when I do it.
Ella.
Mob Crew, I'm Chris, and today's short video is a big one. I discovered something huge in the OnStar records of Alex Murdaugh's SUV.
He really
His
did.
timeline of we stay until the end to see what I discovered.
We will stay until the end, Chris.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome, and I'm staying the whole.
You really are welcome, sir.
Today, where we cover murder mystery to the paranormal. Now, Alex Murdaugh.
He does paranormal too.
I'm sorry, what?
He does paranormal as well. You can don't pause it, just keep going because.
And first goes to his house to check to see if Paul and Maggie were there. Let's take a listen to his interview.
When I got back to the house was obviously nobody was in there. So I figured they're still up here fooling around. Paul was going to be getting set up to plant. Our sunflower seeds got sprayed and died, and he was.
Oh, there's those damn sunflower seeds. We got to talk about them every time.
Here, and I drove up and saw and called.
Now let's look at his OnStar records from his Suburban to see if that lines up. According to the records, he arrives at 10 p.m. and 36 seconds, and his vehicle is put into park for a bit. It could be Alex stopping to open the gate.
But he's not.
He then drives for 12 seconds, parks, then drives immediately again for a total of 25 seconds. This could indicate what Alex said to be true, and he drives to the house. Now between 10:01 and 43 seconds, it is put into park, and there is an approximate 3-minute gap that Alex far to the investigator would be in the house for 3 minutes, and then we would see activity from the Suburban where it's
you're robotic.
Put into the drive at 10:04 and 49 seconds, where the vehicle is moving again for 1 minute.
Can you hear me? You're robotic.
And Maggie, so far, all of this is lining up, right?
Right. It is lining
robotic.
Up. Yeah, it was. It's kind of skipping, but it's okay.
I'm sorry. It's
okay. It's not your fault. It's nothing you can do.
No problem.
I ran over Maggie. Actually, I think I tried to turn Paul over first.
You what?
I tried to turn him over, and I figured it out.
How'd you do that?
His cell phone popped out of his pocket.
Was that before?
Try to do something with it, maybe, but
it didn't pop out of his
back down really quickly. Then I went to my wife. And,
wait, rewind that for just like he did what? He picked up his phone and did what? I'm sorry, why? Because you knew there was a mother trucking video. That's why. You nervous Nelly. Piece of shit.
I don't know. I figured it out. His cell phone popped out of his pocket. I started to try to do something with it, thinking maybe, but then
he's not even blinking, y'all.
Then I went to
No,
my
yes.
wife, and
Mouth breather.
I mean, I could speak, but I tried to take their thoughts on both of them.
No, you did. I don't think you did. I agree to
And
disagree.
you know, I called one
Okay,
pretty much right away.
this is
According
clutch.
to the records on the vehicle, he
Anyway.
calls 911 10:06 and 14 seconds, and actually misdials, causing him to call again at 10:06 and 18 seconds. But there's one big problem.
Yes,
If he
there
had just put
is.
the vehicle in park at 10:05 and 55 seconds
Right.
and calls 911 at 6:14 seconds, Paul and Maggie, who are at least 35 feet away from each other, in less than 10 seconds. This would not be consistent with Alex's timeline of events. So I know some may
Full
try
stop.
and poke a hole into this and say that Alex could have drove over to the kennels first, and during that 3-minute window between 10:01 and 10:04, he could have been checking on Paul and Maggie, but
But
there's
he
one big
didn't.
problem with that. Phone records show that Alex Murdaugh tried calling his wife at 10:03 p.m.
3.
So if you had just discovered their bodies, why would you be trying to call them, then drive around for another minute and 16 seconds,
Chris?
then wait another 19 seconds before calling 911? Clearly, this was a crazy discovery I found after looking at the OnStar records of Alex Suburban and the data they released, and going back and discover his up with the records. So I really hope you enjoyed today's short.
Okay. Is
I'm-
that
I'm-
not?
this
that's
makes
a little
up like our
mind-blowing, right?
entire everything that you and I've been going through.
I know that's a little mind blowing though, right? Hey, Chris. By the way, everyone, I want literally everyone to go over and subscribe to him, because he's cool as he's cool. He's very cool, and that is it looks like a minor detail that could have major consequences, and it's an eye opener for me. So I appreciate you, Chris. Thank you so much for letting us share your video.
Yes.
That's well done, sir. Well done.
Yeah.
Can we talk about Maggie's phone since you talked about that?
Mm-hmm.
You just
Start
subscribed.
that
Good,
one,
Kez.
zero.
Thank you. Well, I have questions on that. I have a couple questions on that. A, was Bubba ever put back in his kennel? Number one, or was he just like, I don't know. I just follow me along here, mob crew. The devil's in the details. That's what Jen Liu says all the time. And I think that in this particular case, because there's so many things. Oh, CV Kelsey, you got me thinking now. He was calling to unlock it. Didn't go to meet the officers at the end of the driveway near the road.
That was calculated, in my opinion. Never, not
Very.
that kills me that he didn't go. He didn't wait for them, outside and go in with them. He didn't wait for them to see where the entrance is. He went and waited by the damn kennels, and then it kind of forced them to drive up right there by it. Everything that happened. That's why there are tracks over everything. He knew this. He knew this. He knew, and I don't think he came in with that law enforcement came in with tunnel vision that he did this. They came in with preferential treatment for him, in my opinion, because it's a Murdaugh. They treaded lightly.
He tells the 911 operator who he is. Oh, I'm Alec Murdaugh.
Mm-hmm.
And we're like, and as long as you're not Jesus Christ, I don't give a shit who you are, really.
Mm-hmm.
But apparently that's important in your mind, not mine. Maggie's phone was the display was turned on at 9:40 something.
Oh, I've got it right here. Do you want me to share that?
Tell me.
I got it. Hold on, I'm bringing it up.
When he would have been at his quote unquote mom's bedside, right?
Mm-hmm.
Why is her?
Wait, one second.
No. What?
Here we go. Oh, I was bringing up the spreadsheet for us so you could see it.
So her
screen goes blank, right?
Her phone display goes on at what time, LFT? Do you know? When digital evidence showing Maggie.
It's okay to share it. Don't.
Oh, okay. All right. I forgot about that. All right. I would have been happy. Oh, shit.
Yeah, it's don't just. We're all good. I
Okay.
think this is sorry. We actually have an updated version of this. We have an updated version of this, but this is the easiest one for me to grab right this second.
Okay.
Right here.
Okay. And I just got my eyes checked today, so it's just far enough that I can't read it. I'm so sorry to ask you to do this.
I can zoom in. I can zoom in.
It doesn't. I'm too far away from the computer. Oh my god! You guys gotta do context today. I was so excited. I want to know if Ellie was able to obtain a fencing warrant on all cell phones within the area at the time of the death. Yes, they were, and they found. Yes, they were. In fact, that was talked about today with the SLED agent on the stand, and I believe two, other than Alec, Maggie, Paul, one EMS and one police officer were the only other cell phones in the area when they did it. Oh, never apologize. Gonna switch.
No.
Oh. Okay, Punsy, we love you.
And sorry, I don't have this isn't our most recent draft up of this, but it's enough that we can. This is important. So our screen. Yeah, this is where it was really bothering you too. That like, how is it?
Well, because I don't understand how he's at his mom's house, right?
Mm-hmm. So here's Alex.
Isn't he at his
just
mom's
for the record,
house?
Alex. Well, he hasn't left yet to go to his mom's. Remember, the car doesn't start to boot up until 9:06.
Right. When does her display go on by itself?
9:05:54.
Oh. It doesn't go on at 9:30.
Excuse me, 9:05:40. See right here, like, all right, the screen goes on here.
What were we talking
Maggie's
about
the
earlier?
pig in the middle. Hold on, we're still going. At 9:07, then it goes off, Tia, right here. At 9:07, her screen goes off.
Right.
So now Alec is leaving. Now Alec is like pulling out of. Leaving Moselle, like going down the driveway between 9:07 and 9:08:58. Alec messages Maggie. She gets an incoming unanswered message from Alec saying, "I'm going to check on Mom. Be right back." There were 2 minutes and 7 seconds between Alec's call and his text message, both unanswered to Maggie. Her display comes on, so her screen is off at 9:07. It comes on, her display comes on at 9:31:44. There's been no activity for 22 minutes on her phone. Now her display
cannot be back. Okay, that's where I was. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
So Alec is not back yet, according to his timeline. Why does her display go on by itself? She's got an updated phone. All that park and drive stuff seems like something we would do if I'm nervous trying to find the perfect spot to put my car. Also, I got to show you what his gear shift looks like, because I think that's pretty interesting too. Now that you brought that up, Kate, I think that's, let me, LFT, please continue that, because I think that's, hold on.
So I'm trying to think when I thought that he would have thrown the phone out maybe when he was leaving, because, obviously Maggie's phone is tossed. But here's the deal. Is her display coming on at 9:31:44 because it's being, like when we pick up our phones and it comes to life? That's like our infotainment system is starts to rev up every time we lift our phone and it lights up.
Mm-hmm.
And so is her display coming on is when someone's lifting her phone and tossing and somehow tossing it in the woods. Because after that, the next time her screen comes on, so mind you, Alec has already left. He's not right there by that side of the road near the house, a quarter of a mile from the house where the phone is. He's already basically at almost, well, yes, he should be in Alameda at this time. So
Right. According
that
to
puts
his
him in
timeline, right?
Alameda. According to his, and according to, well, actually, even to his cell
Miss
phone
Shelley. And yes.
and the data and the tower data. Yes, he's in Alameda. So I used to think he threw her phone out beforehand, but Tia mentioned Tia said tonight. Then who chucked her phone? Who got rid of Maggie's phone?
Why did her display go on and who chucked her phone? I want to know this. And also, the reason I asked about Bubba
next time, because I was like, oh, maybe it came on because it called from Rogan Gibson, but no, that text message doesn't come in until 9:34, 3 minutes and roughly 30 seconds later.
Mm-hmm.
Her screen came on way too soon for it to be like lighting up because you have an incoming call on your locked screen or an incoming message. That's, yeah.
What I wanted to say was Bubba still locked in, or was he out? Maybe a wet nose hit the phone. I'm trying to, it's such a stretch, I realize, but I'm trying to like make sense of crazy. CB Kel said, so allegedly he took MM's phone and chucked it. Right. Once the phone chucked and the PM starts calling, how would he know? Good question. He would know, right?
What?
And I know we knew PM. Yeah. But excellent point. Excellent point. I just want to know why her phone all of a sudden went on by itself when he's in Alameda.
Mm-hmm.
Alameda. Oh, sorry, we have Alameda around here. Alameda is what we. Okay, let me show you guys this too. Hold on, I'm gonna keep that up.
Okay.
I'm gonna show you this too because I found this a little bit fascinating. So his Chevy Suburban interior, if you look, doesn't have an actual gear shift. It has the buttons up here. You guys see that? Is that even?
It's like the GMC, the Terrains. The Chevy Terrain.
Traverse Terrain, yeah.
I mean, wait, no, no, you have the Traverse. I test drove the Terrain, and it was the button thing, and I was like, oh, this is going to take some getting used to.
But so this is what he has in his car, the buttons. So it's not actual gear shifting like you're trying to shift gears in a normal car. I don't know if you guys, can you see that okay, you guys? I don't know. Oh, that's kind of far away there, isn't it?
I don't know. I just zoomed in on my phone.
How about that? Is that any better? Can you see that a little bit better?
Totally.
Let me see if that comes up.
Zoomed in myself.
But yeah, you can kind of see here, there's no gear shift where, like the middle. I don't need to talk to you right now. Thanks for asking. It's actually up here, right next to the steering wheel, is your Prindle.
Mm-hmm. And I think every time his infotainment system and stuff is booting, like when we see it, when it says it's like booting up or start, like when we lift our phones, I think it's because he's got the key in his pocket. So when he walks anywhere near the car, it's like the lights come on, like he's got, his is a new Suburban and I'm guessing it's limited, so like I bet his, the handles, your door handles will light up if you get close to it. If your keys, so
if your
that's
key
what
is right.
And that's what the analyst said, that like it's like when you open your door, your infant, like the screen, like it does it in my car, like the screen comes on. That's your infant, like all those stuff that lights up.
Sorry.
Yep. Proximity remote.
Yes. Thank you. MK.
Does that sound logical to you? Am I thinking that, or anyone else in chat? Am I thinking that?
See, Stevie Kel just said her lights go on when she gets close to. Yes.
Yep.
So do ours.
Yep.
So I just thought it was interesting because when he's saying, shifting gears and park and drive and park, in park, out of park, in park, out of park, I'm thinking gear shifting, but he's not. He's pushing buttons here. Okay, your truck does it. Okay, thank you.
Okay.
So I just thought that was kind of, I'll take that off now because But let's go back to what you're saying here. I just thought that was a detail that we wanted to show you, that if you're thinking like I do, because you're old like me, and you think, oh, he's shifting gears, you know, he's nervous and he's shifting. No, he's pushing buttons. Mm-hmm. He's pushing, you know what I'm saying? Like you got to push, but you push buttons. So back to the spreadsheet. Does anyone else find it interesting that Maggie's phone went off at no one near where she is supposed to be? Is that weird? Or is that just me? Maybe I'm weird. Mm-hmm. That's okay. I totally think that.
And my guess is he left his phone and like wherever he didn't have his phone in his pocket when earlier in the evening, because everyone has talked about how much he is always on his phone. He even admitted it, that he looked at his phone for a minute before he fell asleep. Remember talking to, he's like, I watched and I even played with my phone.
Played with my phone.
I didn't see any data saying like Poshmark was running in your background at, 8:41 p.m. that night. I'm pretty sure I heard you over on Paul's phone though, and your phone wasn't really doing crap at that hour, because when his phone isn't active, Maggie and Paul's are active. When his phone is active, Maggie and Paul's aren't, essentially, like for the most part. Right. Like when you look at the pattern of it, it's like, okay, now, and then every once in a while, all three kind of have like within a few minutes of each other. Mm-hmm. And it's so telling. Like I don't get it.
Today was fascinating. I mean, like I said, I didn't see the afternoon, so I have to be filled in on that, and I have to watch it. And I will go back and probably. I know. MK. I don't know if you heard me giggle, but I did. It's weird. Let's see. It's weird.
That's just him yakking on the bone, Clark. Every time.
Your humor is so welcome here. It's weird, but if
I could.
Some kind of wild. That's interesting, because it did have water on it. It was raining. That actually, okay, CB Cal, now you got me thinking again, because the weather is a factor. Would the phone come on if?
Well, I can tell y'all I just dropped mine. I just dropped mine a few minutes ago. And I've got that I don't have the otter thing, but that extra cover on the glass part of our iPhones. And I must have hit it in one area. It just did that little splinter, like the spider web thing. But my screen, I didn't notice it until I touched it didn't light up when it got hit. I had to press the button to see it. Because I dropped, I thought, how when we drop our phone or something, when you pick it up.
She had an iPhone, but I don't know what kind. I'd have to go back and look at it. Wreaked havoc. Absolutely, water has. Wreaked havoc on chat. I was modding. Oh my God. I think it's an iPhone. And I want to say it's a Plus because it was bigger. I don't know what kind, though, to be fair.
I don't even remember which ones came out in 2021. But I'm pretty sure actually I should
like 5 people in a water drop. Oh my God. I hope you guys are all subscribed to her. She's amazing.
I used to be an Android because I used to love going Droid. Droid.
One of those. It's so funny because people are either Apple or Apple or anti-Apple. I am pro Apple. I know so once I hear so many good things about going Droid, but I just can't make the change.
I can't do it now, but it makes.
But anyway, that water. I wonder if the water would. That's an interesting point that Kate made. When the phone was chucked, could it have gone off, or water? And it was raining that night, so that's potential. I'm gonna add that into my questions and things to look up.
throw your phone real fast over onto the couch and see if it lights up. I already don't. I can't. I would do it to mine, but mine.
Oh,
I put
okay.
a brand new. I put a brand new crack in mine already tonight.
Do it.
And it's
hold
right
on.
where
Hold
I
on.
see things. I do have an old one I could throw. I don't want to throw it. If you get a crack on
hold
your
on. Okay, for scientific purposes, I just threw my phone 3 times on a chair and it did not come on. I mean, I didn't chuck it, but I value my phone.
You know, so I'll just be like, I kind of want, because I was wondering if it like kind of lands. I wonder if it's like if you whip it, like if you like whoosh, like that initial.
Maybe, and also like Kate said with the water, it had water on the phone when it was found because it was raining that night. So I wonder if maybe the rain did have something to do with it. I'm willing to look into it. Let's put it that way. I'm willing to look into it.
All right, Kate threw hers and hers lit up. So, all right, crap. Now I'm gonna have to throw mine. We gotta have a.
Do not throw your phone, for God's sakes. Yours is on precious time. I need that phone to work. We'll try another phone.
But okay, so that's the big thing. Like now, because I'm starting to wonder. I think Ella is responsible right now. It's going to take a lot to convince, without a reasonable doubt, that he didn't do it. I want to switch like defense, prove it to me, like just if you will, because I am drawing a blank right now on connecting a dot that does not lead to him in some way, shape, or form. I don't know if he had someone to help him that night. I've gone back and forth on that, but I can say I think he damn well knew what was going on.
Here's the thing, and this has been stuck in my head since I read this comment. I don't know where it was. I don't know if it was in Gen Luz or if it was in Law and Crime today. So whoever you are out there, I'm really sorry for not giving you credit, but it might have been in Gen Luz where it said that the prosecution has to have 12 jurors and the defense only needs 1. You just have to have that one person that has a reasonable doubt. Researching and testing is the best way to gather information.
Where are you? Oh, I can't hear you.
I just spent $1,300 on this phone, so I made sure I dropped it in a very soft pillow. Well, that's what I did too. That's why I was like, I just got my phone. I don't want to throw it. Really? Okay, Kate. I'm willing to do the water test too, by the way. Just so you know, I'm willing to put a drop of water on my phone for this.
I did that the other night. I had it next to me washing my, like where hers was on the screen, you mean? Like the water on the screen? Where we could see the drop on it. I did it the other day and my phone didn't light up, but I saw, like, I just wiped my arm over it to get the water off the top of my screen. It didn't break
things.
Well, maybe it did cause some damage because now all of a sudden
I wonder now. Is that the spot?
Oh my God! It did such.
Did you hear that?
Is this like 7 years bad luck when you do this?
No, that's a mirror. You're good. Your phone is just, it hurts your wallet, not your life. It's just your wallet.
Okay.
It's bad luck for your wallet.
Verizon
is clapping up and down for your mistakes. Or whoever your carrier is. They're loving you for this.
Verizon already owns half my soul, so I don't know how they're going to repay me for this.
That's funny. The eye doctor owns my
Tia, I am so pissed. Joel, I am. Now that I'm really looking at it, it did it the whole damn thing.
You know what? You can get a new screen put on for cheap.
Well, luckily it is the like glass, like it's that thick glass. I had the extra layer on the top. So it's that, but it looks like I can't feel it. That's what's driving me nuts. Like I can see the crack, but when I rub my finger on it, oh wait, yes I can. Ooh, I'm gonna
be careful. You're not gonna cut yourself. Be careful with that. I wish I could blame bad luck on the crack on my screen too. I can't. I can't.
I was just here. I just want to make sure. So anyway, so these were the main things that tonight. Like after I saw that picture of Paul and realized the positioning of him, and then started thinking about the way that law enforcement approached the crime scene and just how it happened, and I'm not knocking crime. I'm not knocking law enforcement. I don't mean that in a bad way. I'm just saying, like, it just like I had to think. Yeah, I just had to think about it for a minute. And I was like, this, Alec, come on. Like, out of all the things you could do, you know what you're doing. And you're freaking out because I've noticed your head. He does the subtle head bobs in a lot of his police interviews. If you notice, he gets real stiff in the shoulders, and there's like a slight not like that rocking, that soothing. It's ever present. I bet it's ever present within his life. I bet if he was in a meeting with the board on some average Monday, he would be doing that because he's constantly worried that something's going to come out. God, it just all started to sink in.
So I had a bad day with my nerves today. Like it was a lot. It was a lot. And I was talking to LFT, and I was just like, oh my God, I can't, my phone ringing and everything. It was like all the noise hit me at once and just bugged the shit out of me. But imagine that guy's nerves. Like, he must have been like, seriously, like a cat on a hot tin roof all the time. Like, ready to pounce, ready to jump, terrified that they might find him out. Well, look, bud, we found you out. You should be completely relaxed at this point. Because either way, you're screwed. You're not coming out of jail. My question is, will they put him in jail for the money, or will they put him in jail for the murder? That's what I want to know. So Alex told Maggie's sister that whoever did this had been planning it, I know, for a long time. And I think Alex is the one who took Paul's gun, agreed, and used it. And it would explain Paul's fingerprints on the shelves. So 100%, I agree with that. Actually, I'm going to leave that comment up there because I 100% agree with that. And that's the first thing I thought of today when they said, oh, Paul's fingerprints were on the shelves. Listen, you're going to try and call this a self-harm. I know. I see you coming, JG Hoops. I see you. You're like a bad, stinky freight train miles away. I hear you. It ain't gonna fly. It ain't gonna fly. And I know that 12 jurors have to decide on this, and we are the court of public opinion, but I don't know. Do you think, all I can think is he had a gun in each hand? This is what MK was instructing us, and may have supported. Yes. And so check out the next time, if you guys remind us, check out Alex's forearms. They're not too shabby. Like, I'm not saying he's muscle man by any step. We've all seen the moves. He's clearly not cut.
He's got quite a six-pack. Those abs were ripped.
I think he was drinking a six-pack. I don't know where he's. I don't know. I don't want to talk. I mean,
and you're running on adrenaline too.
I won't throw stones at that glass house, but his forearms look pretty strong. Like he's a shooter, right? So I think it's plausible that he could hold things in one hand. And whoever was it MK that said, MK or Wheel B said that, he could have had the shoulder strap on, or was that Jen Lou? I can't even remember. I might be giving credit to the right person.
It's all, I think they all kind of, Kate, let's go. Yes, all these people agree and remember it.
Right? Like, I don't know. We just, we weren't going to go live today, and then listening to Jen Lou and talking through some things. Like I said, Maggie's phone lighting up was like, I don't understand that. And then when LFT started talking about the gates, and I started looking up pictures of the gates, I was like, this is weird. Okay, this is worth discussion. At least we need to put it out there for discussion, right? Which I think is completely valid. And maybe we're not right. Maybe we're wrong.
If you find it and I want the picture of the image, like to have the
Mhm.
look. I'm going to use the word metadata. Look, inspect the image when you look at it and see if you find the date in it, because I have yet to find one where there is an actual gate prior to 6721. I can't.
Right. And then his car movements
God,
are so weird. And like I said, we're going to go through, we were supposed to go through the gear shifting and all that last night. And we didn't, because we had a great panel with Kate and Jen Liu, so we didn't get to it. And I will never be sorry for that. I don't know. We were talking through things, and I was like, we need to go live with this. We just need to talk this out loud and have you guys correct us and help us. Like I said, MK, you've been a huge help to us. CB Cal, huge help in trying to educate us while we're live. I totally freaking love that. And as our friend Tira says, I love that about you. I love that for you.
And we were working on, I started doing it today. We did get the coordinates for the town, like based on their cell records. And I started dropping the pins, and there are a couple for Maggie as well. But we just have to redo it. But I think if once we finish that and kind of show it all together, it just shows like parts of this story do add up. Don't get me wrong, because he orchestrated it to make it fit. Like he knows what he has to do, but when you start kind of not taking it at face value and doing what any investigator would need to do, you start to realize, like, hold the phone, yeah, dude. Like,
so
this doesn't.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, I just said it doesn't match, man.
It doesn't.
Do you have another answer that you want to give us? Do you have another answer? Like, is there?
Well, you've come up with so many thus far.
I love when he's like, so y'all, were there two people? What are you thinking? 2 people? 3 shooters? Like, were there 3 of them? And
that's what I was going to say is I'm working on a comparison spreadsheet of his stories, which is always entertaining. Last year we did one for a crooked cop. And it was really interesting to see his story change from, like, LFT has the spreadsheet up. When you see someone's story like that laid out, it is so incredible. And you're like, what in the hell? Clearly you aren't keeping track of your lives. You're not good at this game. You are not, you're not good at your job, sir. You are just not good at your job. But I thought of doing like a spreadsheet like with him where we're doing go through each interview and show, like, here's a story here, here's a story here, here's where he goes back to the kennel. That word back is huge for me.
That back. And don't get me wrong,
ARs eject
like
brass out the right side of the weapon. Hold on. ARs eject brass out of the right side of the weapon. So does shotgun shooting. Oh, okay.
So
educational. Okay, you see this?
But okay, so actually, MK, I may have a question or two for you and everyone else in the chat tomorrow, if y'all are around, because I'm thinking this. I don't.
You can ask.
Does anyone? I was going to ask MK. Do you have an based on what you've seen so far, like the images and the expert testimony stuff? Do you have an idea, in your opinion, of where the shooter, what kind of angle or where they're approaching from by chance? Like talk to me like I'm a 2-year-old. I mean, but a knowledgeable one. But
you won't offend us.
Plus, a knowledgeable 2-year-old.
Yeah, I'm interested. Where do you think that the person was standing? Like in, were the candles to the right? Were the candles to the left? Oh, he does. Okay. All right.
Okay.
All right.
Because what I realized is that at first I really did think the person like started further away and gradually got closer. But then when I
thought they
look
were
at where
doing
Bubba's kennel was and where Maggie the dog one, not
Maggie the human.
not Maggie
Weird.
the human. The two yellow labs, like the golden and yellow, are one's more white, and I believe Jen Lu clarified this one for me. That Bubba was like more of the golden one. So I want to say that picture, Tia, that we have where the two dogs are in the
kennel.
one right next to the feed room is Bubba. And that would make sense if Alec is that freaking close. Because I was thinking he was farther away.
Oh my God, we could do a reenactment, not a reenactment, but maybe near
Does anyone else see that? Like where
those areas, a few kennels down from Paul's location. Right.
That's what I was, okay, because that's CB.
That's
CB
what we were talking about before.
And then I realized
Can you hear us?
I know, for real. I think we're bugged because I started to think about it though. Remember, Alex yelling for Bubba. Cash is actually the one that was a little further down, I think. And then he got for some reason, Paul went to the feed room to get something, and then it went boom. But by the time law enforcement are there a little later, and they've got where the body cam happens to get the first two dogs and the first two kennels off the feed room, they're in there. And I'm pretty sure that one closest to the feed room is Bubba. I might be incorrect. Don't quote. That's me thinking it. This is us thinking through our research right now. Still need to work. So this is a working meeting. But I want to say team meeting. So don't you know what I'm saying? Like that moves Alec up closer, like Paul's
closer to
feed
Paul.
room,
Right.
closer to Paul.
It moves him closer to Paul. Okay, tomorrow's job. Comparison spreadsheet. Oh, can you? I don't know if you want to talk about this or not, but I'm going to say location of cars. Do you want to talk about that really quick or no?
Yeah, because no one there knows where any cars except that Paul's is on the side of the road because it broke down earlier that day when he was with John Marvin or whatever it was.
No, I meant the police cars.
Oh, the police car. Oh.
Do you want to talk about that or you want to wait?
I think we wait. My whole point was that the police cars, I'm starting to think they didn't intentionally drive up and try to drive through that crime scene or walk all the way through it. They drove up because they're looking for Alec, and he's in between. He's got his lights booming straight. His headlights are facing in between the hangar to his left and the kennel on his right, that first little area. And that's exactly where they all were. Everyone's at the kennels. That's what we heard on the video. We all know that everyone's right there. He just got all of them to drive up, walk through it, the rain, the dogs. He knows it's a mess. He did it. He funneled them in a way to me.
Yes.
He didn't meet them out back. He funneled them in.
Kind of in a triangle shape, but closer to Paul, if that makes sense. Yes, agreed.
Okay.
Approaching Maggie as, yes, exact 100%.
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
So unless there's a walkway to the storage, how would they get in there? Still trying to figure that one out, Kate. Still trying to figure that one out.
Kate and MK and CB Cal and Tia, what if, sorry, I don't know, I can't see who else is in chat, so I have my glasses on. What if, wait, keep going with what we were just thinking, Kate. And so the shotgun shoots out to the right as well, correct? Like I'm trying to think when I go skeet shooting and all that stuff. So when I do it, and I'm right-handed, okay. So when I shoot, it's going to pop to my right, correct?
Right. CB Kel said, are you thinking the shooter was inside the food room and shooting? Initially, I said no. Initially, I said absolutely not, no way. But I can't place the shells there. I
kind of can all of a sudden. And that's why I was just thinking
I'm with
through.
Kate.
Imagine if you're coming up. So, but hear me out. because I'm going
I'm
with where
listening.
because we have to get that shotgun
I'm
shell into
listening.
the feed room, right? That's what we're trying
Right.
to figure.
There's like
So what
3
about
of
if
them in
it's
there,
still
right?
approaching at that kind? I thought
There
there
are
were
2 or 3 in there.
definitely in 2 or 3. I can't remember if one was unmarked, but whatever. We know that the shells are there. There's at least one in that room.
Mhm.
If he's
Spent shells,
we
right? Right.
Mhm. So if he pretend you're walking, if it's someone's kind of approaching and they're kind of the feed room's kind of to your left shoulder, if you're the shooter, like you're coming up like that close where you turn, so you turn to your left. You know what I mean? The shots went boom and boom. So he had
That's right on
a
top.
time to kind of shift a little bit further. What about if he's turning his body so much the gun is literally angled enough that where once he shoots, because that door is open, it repels, it shoots out, and it goes right. He's turning to the
So
left to
so
shoot.
the gun barrel is parallel to the kennels. Is that what you think?
It's kind of going actually more not parallel to, or more like almost perpendicular, but at a slight angle. Like you're going to T-bone into. It's like an.
See, then I
need you all
can't
to
get the shells in the room. I got to look
see. I
at that
can because
map.
it would pop out to the right because we're turning to our left. Boom, and it pops out. The door's open, so I'm turned to my left. That means the right side of my gun is facing right side of my gun is facing towards the feed room. Like you're kind of on a swivel, boom, and then you turn back
But
at
the
Maggie.
shells,
Boom, boom.
I wish you could draw in chat too, MK. I really do.
I was like, can you all just come over real fast? Like, if you could just sit right here, I could show you.
I know. I can't with the shells on the left side in the storage room. That's exactly where I am. That's where I am. I don't know. I'm going to look at that tomorrow. I think that might be we have to work together on that one, like publicly. We might have to show
maybe
the room.
Maybe we'll have to do like a live and do it on Zoom or something where I stand up and open a door. Like what if I did the closet door to you, the hall closet right there where it's not, because then the bathroom will look like the kennel, like starting the row of the kennels.
Maybe, yeah, that might be good.
And the door, yep. I got it. Like that's what I was just thinking. Is
falls right in the barrels parallel. That's what I was thinking. Hear me out really quick. Okay, we're gonna hear you out because you've been bringing the info.
Oh my gosh, I'd almost drop the link if it's easier than typing.
I'll
stop sharing my screen too. Sorry.
Oh no, you're just. I can take that off. I can take that off. I'm sorry. I didn't even realize that you were still sharing. It's just because of the length of the barrel, right? But I think they would shoot outside next to the storage room. Shoot outside.
Kate, what's that app that you have, that game? Can we draw it?
Like I need visual. Sorry. I'm one of those people that I actually have to like look at things and work it through in my head. So I'm kind of looking forward to this because I want to understand how other people figure this shit out. All right, so cars we'll talk about later. Was there a cleanup crew?
Read Kate's comment. I can use the diagram. Shoot me the link real quick. No pun intended. Shoot her the link real quick.
I'll drop it in.
All right, shotgun shells are hollow plastic tubes. When he racks the shotgun and the shell ejects into the storage room from outside, it's going to bounce all over that concrete. Okay, yes, I can see that.
I can too.
This makes me want to go.
Okay. Are you ready to come up, Kate? Mm-hmm. Hi, gorgeous. Look.
Hi.
1:30 in the morning, and look how cute she still is.
Oh wait, hold on. Sorry, it's muted now. This is my thing. Like, there's going to be a decent length with the
Mhm.
barrel, right? So, like,
Mhm.
all right, say here's the door and here's Paul.
Mhm.
If he's standing, all right, say like the barrel of the gun is facing Paul. It looks backwards on your screen, but like say
But I know where you're.
standing,
I got you what you're
say
saying.
I'm standing, Paul's coming out, and I'm on the left of him.
Okay.
I think, all right.
Yep.
Or the right, to the right or the left.
I'm not near the kennels. I'm on the other side. Like
Got it.
It's on the-
So you're to the
approaching the kennels, pointing the
Gotcha.
barrel at him. Where he was positioned, even then, I feel like it would be tough for the shells to shoot in there. I mean, they can. They can shoot up to like 10 feet or something like that, I think. So
Okay.
remember
I mean,
he's
it's possible. Say it again.
and it's under an overhang. I just thought about that. Like maybe if it ricochets and bounces
Maybe they're plastic,
to
so
the
like
kennel area, you know what I mean? That concrete.
yeah.
Kibble said
So I think it said it's like a wad or a shotgun wad, which is like this plastic thing that you put the shells in to load.
Oh, right. Okay.
And they're these little. They look like what's that game with the little tennis rackets and the little bird thing? You know what I mean? It looks like that. I think they said they were wads.
Badminton.
Yeah, they look like that kind of. So there was 3 of them, but if you're walking into the doorway, they're to the left.
Correct.
So it's either like the shooter's in the storage room and they pop out right, which my friend who works with guns like all the time, he was in the military and his like regular day job is working with guns. He even does a lot of like video game stuff where they like use your body movements and stuff for, you know what I'm talking about, for like guns. So he's very like knowledgeable about that. He said like if he thinks from where everything is positioned that they would have been standing over like to the like more towards the left of the room and shooting like, you know, that but inside and then just flying out to the right. But it could technically happen if he was outside because they can fly up to 10 feet. But I just feel like
he was closer to that feed room, and like MK said, they bounce all over in there. I can get even that it's on the left-hand side. I can let that
and
go.
it's within 3 feet. I feel like if he was,
that's where I have the issue right there.
Yeah. So like,
okay, wait. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Kate.
I feel like they would shoot out outside of the storage room if the person was out of it. You know what I mean? Like I feel like they would be just right outside of, like, here's the door, and then like right next to the door, not near the kennels, but on the other side.
MK I think he just said everything that I've been trying to say the whole time in terms, I was almost about to say, Kate, exactly what you were thinking in terms of like that angle where he's approaching from. I know we're thinking Paul shot first, but just for the minute, pretend you're approaching from like the angle of where Maggie was. Do you know what I mean? Kind of coming at him. Because remember, Maggie's face, her head is facing towards where Paul was, kind of at a diagonal.
Popping out and then bouncing.
So like,
the room
if he was approaching, like if the gun or the barrel was kind of coming from that direction, like that kind of angle. Like,
but here's my thing. How do 3 of them perfectly bounce in that spot? They were all right next to each other. Like I could see if it was like one, if they were in different spots, but all 3 were like right next to each other in the diagram. So like they would have to all perfectly bounce the same way to be in that spot. So I don't know. I mean, I guess it's possible because they're all popping out at the same area, but
if you're shooting, if they put a bullet, if one of them went through that window, you couldn't be well, maybe it could. I would have thought it would be still coming from, you'd be kind of having to point kind of straight on almost at that point to hit where it did in the window in the back of the feed room, like right there behind that plastic, you know, stackable basket. It went zoop, like straight through the pane. I mean, through the glass.
Like, you think Alex could have walked in the storage room to, like, you know, act like he was getting food or something, or show Paul something in there, and maybe he was trying to like get Paul in a small area or something. You know what I mean? Like trap him in an area, and then do it there. I don't.
Okay,
I think that's interesting. See, I'm with you on the small area, and I also think that that's possible where the weapons were hidden
in this. Yeah, maybe
in the feed room. I don't know.
If there's like a big bag of food or something, maybe in like the food.
I don't know. To be honest with you, I don't know if that's a dumb thing to say or not.
I don't think he was at all. I'm having a. Okay, but you might be right. I just have to think a little bit more in terms of him shooting from behind.
Yes, all the yeses.
Yeah,
the ejection port of the shotgun was aimed towards the door, opening from the outside because he walked up from behind Paul, who's standing by the door. Oh, maybe like if Paul was like. If Paul was like half out the door, but like turned facing the kennels.
Yep, that's how I envisioned him. You got it. Yep, you got. That's how I've envisioned him.
Yeah, that's that's possible. Like if he was standing, like almost.
Where's that picture of Paul one more time, LFT? I gotta look at it because I gotta see how big that platform.
How much space there is for him.
That's what I was trying to. That's exactly what I was trying to see. Was like how much.
I can ask I can like tell my friend like, hey, what do you think about this? Do you think it's possible from like how it looks that he could have walked up that way?
My other question is, I don't understand how he says he tried to turn Paul over, where Paul is kind of he's already kind of leaning more on his left side down. You know, at least it looked like it, like where his back is. Like if he had, I could almost see him trying to go over to kind of maybe tug on his shoulder, but then it goes very graphic to me based on what the medical examiner said about I would have, because his face was so preserved, but yet the rest,
the other
terrible. So if he even tried to move anything, I just think it would be bad.
He couldn't have snuck up on Paul because Paul was hit front on at first. He was hit like right here,
the shoulder, right?
So,
okay.
If he's walking up from there, he would have to have them hidden. You know what I mean? Like you're gonna
see. That's actually an interesting thought because now you got.
If you're gonna see someone walking up on you with a gun, you know what I mean? Like if he was walking up on him and facing him, he would have seen him walking up on him with a gun. I would think, or maybe not. Maybe he was just holding the gun and Paul didn't think anything of it because they have guns all the time. I don't know.
Where was the entry shot of the head wound? Was it from the back or the front?
So, no. Well, it was from the side. So it was like.
Oh, got it. Hold on.
The first shot was like into the chest, through the armpit, and out like back here. And then the second one was like as if he turned his head. So I guess he turned his head like this because he was facing that way, I guess.
Right.
And he was hit like a little bit. Just his head tilted a little bit, almost to be like looking back just a little bit. And it was like through there. Like, but his head had to be tilted a little bit, the lady said.
So that puts him in the feed room again for me.
See, I kind of envision him like walking out, like his left foot in terms of taking a step, like his left foot was headed out that feed room door. And you're right, Kate, kind of facing, like his head was kind of turned towards down the kennels, looking down the row of the kennels.
But he had to get hit front on first.
Can you, right. That's what
I was shot. The first shot is front on because it hit no. She said the second shot had to be the head shot because he immediately got. So the first shot's front on.
I'm trying to see where that were.
So that's why it's in the storage room.
You want the other one?
Unless his whole body.
Wait, hold on 1 second. Let's
spun, but
Tia, tell me what y'all think of these then.
Not when you're coming out of the storage room. See, Kate,
but the thing is, he got hit front on first. That's
where I am.
He got hit here first. So if he was looking down at his phone, it probably wouldn't be like that. He would have to be, in my opinion, his arms were down and it like straight up front on, and then somehow maybe he flinched like
With
this.
the force of it, the force of it
and
knocked him
then
back.
it turned his head sideways, and then they got, or I'm trying to
That makes
turn on,
sense.
and then flinched,
Eva?
and then that way.
Tia, can you share the two things
Yes.
that I just, or the things I just sent you on your end, or do you need?
Oh, whoa. I can share as long. Trigger warning.
This is the one I was telling you about that they did the. Yes, trigger warning.
Hold on. Let me, yes, I can. Give me 1 second. This is. Stop.
That's the only
I
thing
have
I
so
can't
many
shake
different
is
versions, like of all this stuff.
I can't shake the.
I feel like it's like he rounded on her. It was like one from. It's like someone took one step, hit him kind of more like what you're saying, Kate, from that front angle, like coming from the direction of the kennels, and then it was like boom, took a step around him, and then went to make it eject. Okay.
Or he was facing the storage room. The person was in the storage room, hit him in the shoulder, and then his shoulder goes back, and then that puts his head, so he's looking that way, and then he gets hit and falls. I mean, that's the only.
This other one.
So it's in the same shoulder. So like, all right. So if he's hit here,
Mm-hmm.
then it pushes him back.
Okay, wait. Look at that's kind of an interesting diagram of it too.
And he hits it there. So I feel like he would have had to be facing the storage room when he fell, the way he was laying.
The ME said he turned his head to look like he was who was shooting at him, which is why the second shot entered. Okay, here's the thing about that. That makes sense, and I support that. Hi, Amanda Carroll. Welcome in. I support that thought process, except that Emmy is not educated at all. It's like Joe Blow off the street with dirty gloves, and that's not a joke, by the way.
It would make complete sense if he was facing the storage room, though. Like if Paul was inside and he was standing outside looking into the storage room. Like say he turned around and they were having a conversation of Alex.
Yep, and then he goes boom.
And then he hits him in the shoulder. Then his shoulder goes back. Right, so then that sets his body up. You know what I mean? Like A pushes his shoulder this way, and then his cheeks exposed right here, or whatever, because his shoulder gets blown, and then boom, and then he falls just like that right there.
That's interesting. Okay, Gabriel, what's going on?
Okay, wait.
We're just having a little late night sesh here. With our friend Kate does crime, or in our chat it's Kate Dio's crime. I need to go in and change. I don't know why I wrote that wrong. That's pretty interesting.
I think the shoulder shot blew his body that way, which made him face the kennels, right?
Oh,
so like,
no. Yes.
So imagine like I'm facing you, LFT, and you shoot me in the shoulder, right? And like boom. And my whole shoulder flips back like this because it's 3 feet away. It's going to be definitely a force that throws your shoulder back, right? So I'm facing you. Say you're in the storage room and I'm right at the doorway.
Okay.
And you shoot me. My shoulder goes back. Now, my whole face and body is facing, right? But is facing that way, and that would get the side shot, right?
No, it would be the other
or
way.
Or is it the opposite?
It's the opposite. I think MK said he doesn't put I don't think that you are. I think.
Oh, you're right. It would be opposite. So
I think MK, you're coming in with some clutch information if you want to know what I think, and I appreciate
so maybe
that.
Like this, like he.
Yes.
He, and then he went like that.
Yeah.
I can't see Kate what she's doing. I feel like she's acting things out.
Sorry. She is. I'm so sorry.
It's all right.
Thank you for telling.
I was really trying to visualize.
Yes, I'm so sorry.
LT, imagine you're standing in the storage room, right? And I'm looking
at you. Am I facing the window or the door?
The door. And I'm Paul, and I'm standing in the doorway having a conversation with you, right? And then you shoot me here, right? So my body goes like this. So now I'm facing the kennels. right? That's the same shoulder. Because they did it, yeah. So my body's facing the kennels now, right? And then I turn my head like this because I'm like sideways now, and then
that leaves your left side exposed.
Yeah.
Your left side's going to be exposed, right? Because
Yeah,
it
and then
enters
I
through
go
the
like,
left.
I don't know what he would have been looking at though, because he would have had to go like.
I
That's
don't
what it
know.
said.
I think, see, I got to go back to what MK said the other night and think, I keep, the thing that goes through my,
It's this cheek, but this shoulder. So if somebody
Right.
was standing in the storage room,
It's the
my
force
shoulder
of
goes
it.
this way, and now I'm facing
Uh-huh.
the kennels, okay? But then is it
He's
this side?
outside. Is he standing next to Bubba's kennel?
He was in the doorway, literally. So I feel like and then that would explain why the shells were right there, and that would explain why if he's hitting that shoulder, which it was, because if I'm flipped this way, it's that shoulder. It's also this cheek. So hold on. So I get hit here, turn, and then I'd have to go like this.
Right.
All right, wait. Forward. I get blown in the shoulder, and then So you look and see who's in the doorway shooting at you, and then you get hit there, I guess.
You don't think it's the force of it? I think the door was closed.
Oh, I think the force of the
bullet, the shoulder wound is what I mean.
Yeah, like turned him towards the kennels, which is the way he's facing, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So you get the person standing in there, shoots, then the whole force turns your body towards the kennels, and then it's this side, so we'd turn his head like that, I guess, maybe to like see who's in the room or see why he's shooting them. I don't know. And then get hit there and then falls, and that would be.
So MK, I have a question. You think that Paul was coming up by the grapevines, correct? Just hit a yes or no.
Paul or Alex?
Yes or no. I mean, out. Forgive me. Rephrase the question, Your Honor. Thank you.
All right,
ice in my house was just
you may continue.
That scared the crap out of me.
There was also a bullet in the ground out there. I'd love to know if that was a shotgun bullet or an AR bullet, because that would, if it was a shotgun bullet that like went into the ground or whatever it was, that would also make sense that the person was shooting from the storage room, because it's like straight out.
See, I think my theory is that he was coming up by the grapevines and shot within 3 feet. And I don't know which direction the shells come out, other than to the right, the 3 o'clock, like Kate said.
And
that they would fly. And if the barrel would have to be parallel, in my opinion, to.
I think I'm kind of thinking like MK is thinking.
Which is what? That's what I was just saying. I was trying to work that through in my head. That's why I was like, what are you thinking?
I think the door was closed.
I think
we'll open the knob and shut door.
I think I need you to come over here real fast and stand in front of me and let me show you.
No, I'm for real asking, because like this is going to be one of those things that I'm going to be like going.
No, I'm being for real. Tonight. I think my whole in terms of it tells from, and I really like if I have to envision this kind of like a triangle, if you will, for just I'm trying to get 3 point. What?
I'm talking to myself. I just wrote something down. I'm sorry. Firearms. I need to learn about them tomorrow.
I have to kind of envision a triangle for a minute, so like kind of make Maggie kind of like the point. That's the top, and then Paul is I'm walking up like I'm coming up the driveway, up the kennel entrance drive. This is how I'm approaching it, thinking about it. I'm walking up. The kennels are to my left. I continue to walk up, and I am approaching that feed room. As I approach the feet. I'm kind of stepping a little bit over to my right, so I'm moving kind of towards the hangar, but still pointing the gun and that like aiming towards the inside of, kind of coming in. It's kind of so I'm kind of tilting myself slightly. My angle is slightly to my left, so that I am facing that direction of Paul in the kennel, in the feed room, in the kennels. So the barrel of the gun is kind of, tipping, heading that way. Is anyone else? Is this going over like a lead balloon, or?
I'm actually looking at videos trying to see.
I just can't envision how the shells are getting.
That's what I'm trying to figure out right now.
My whole point is he's got to be that. The thing is, if we're assuming that those shells that are in there and around that feed room were expelled from that gun that was being shot that night, and those in a bullet that hit Paul.
Also, this shoulder was hit, so if he was walking out and they were out there, he would have turned. His body would have been pushed like the other way.
That's what I said. I feel like it's like the person circle. Like one shot came. It went like boom, and then he kept going a little bit further, turning even further, and then he did another shot. So I'm the shooter, and I'm turning again. The kennels are right here to our left. We're turning to our left to go boom one more time. So that means I am turned to my left.
Don't you think that would have blown his head back instead of forward?
I'm watching this video. I'm going to send it to you.
Wouldn't his feet have been out then, and his head towards the thing? If that's the case, because if the second shot hit him in the cheek, right, it's on the same side, that would have blown his head back.
Okay.
From under him.
I bet MK is screaming right now, like he's going, "Oh my god, like, y'all!" I can see him because I'm now. Okay, now you make that. So could he be just approaching from a slightly sharper angle though, but kind of? He's got to be coming, like you said, from the area of like the
fascinated by the shells.
Point.
I'm like fascinated by the shells. I'm confused about Maggie and Paul being so close to each other.
Approaching from a rearward angle from Paul, correct? So he's like got it.
I don't think he came from Maggie's side. I think he was with Paul, and Maggie heard them and ran over.
Yes.
I just meant in terms of I'm trying to envision it,
like coming that way. Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, I'm not saying like he was at her, just trying to use that as a pinpoint area of like directional purposes. Excuse me. That's what I meant in terms of, but because my whole thought is it's almost like the person's whipping around to their either directly facing him already because he's sneaking up on him out of the grapevines or whatnot. But let's just say he's not hiding right there behind the building. He's walking up. It's like, I just imagine on a swivel, like, either way, that barrel is being pointed further and further towards Paul so that the ejection, my gun, even though I'm pointing like facing the right side of my gun, would be facing into the area of the feed room and the kennel.
I mean, it makes sense for that, like for the shells to get in there, but then I feel like Paul's body position doesn't make sense.
That's exactly what I'm trying to figure out by watching this dumbass video of this guy instructing me on what I'm supposed to do with this.
But what about if, and this is a little graphic, trigger warning, what about like where he did hit him? That last second shot that took him out, what about if it was so it's not enough, like, yes, it could blow him all the way back, but what about if it's literally like you crumble, like he fell and the part that was blasted and fell backwards was the brain and the back of the head that went backwards, but it was instantaneous. I mean, he hit him at the brainstem. I mean, it was like boom, done. Like the figure falls. And
I guess maybe if there's like a little step there or something.
Shut the front door, Raquel. Vouch past.
Like maybe if there's like a little like step down or something, I could see him falling like forward that way.
Mm-hmm. That's kind of because there is a step to the, like, the kennel platform area, like obviously because we see it in the in the crime scene photos, even when they removed the body, you can see where his head was kind of leaning over the edge of the little cement area around in the front of the kennels.
Yeah.
And my point is, like, what you're talking about, that thing that should be shooting something backwards because of force of it, in that angle that you're talking about, it did happen. That did happen. What that happened to was the back of his head and the brain, because he hit him through the brainstem. His body drops, and that force, it doesn't blow his whole freaking body back. It blew out the back of his head, and sadly, and I'm sorry, I don't like the heart. I think that would explain. You know what I mean? Just
Yeah.
couple of staggers on the way down, and then boom, down. That's it. Because you're still getting something going in that direction that you two are talking about. Do you know what I'm talking about in terms of that? Like, you would expect him to blow him back, like Paul himself. But if you could just think for a minute, that whole body didn't get blown back, but a very important part of that body did. Was where
I think the force moved him, but I don't think it blew him back. I'm not Hollywood enough to think that, like, he was off it. Like, I think it turned his shoulder, and then he hit again,
Like that,
and hit his and then hit his head. And I think it was, oh God.
Now all we just have to figure out, okay, well, we've got this down, but who did it?
The butler with the candlestick in the library.
In the kennels.
In the kennels.
And at the kennels.
It was Blanco.
Alex in the kennels with the shotgun.
Maybe tomorrow, Kate, or anyone, if anyone's available, like, even if we wanted to do it on a live, if we rehearsed it kind of beforehand and like walked it through in a Zoom, like literally visually.
Yeah, you gotta be careful showing that stuff on YouTube, my dude.
No, not us like reenacting anything, but like I'm talking about us talking like we are right now, but we have this whole conversation
for sure.
Beforehand, and then try to explain it. Does that make?
Yeah, I was just like, we gotta be careful with reenacting things on YouTube. I really like this kind of talk.
I'm happy to follow it up with, we can do a reenact of Sound of Music, Steel Magnolias, take your pick.
Sound
if we could do
Music.
anything, we could play the fun game. But
he either came from inside the storage room or the grapevines, one or the other, because like I could see what you're saying, how he could have got, like, I think either way it could have worked out that way. Like,
don't lift up. Shirt lift.
I sent you both a video that I can't show on YouTube. It's already on YouTube, but I'm just not going to show it here because it's a bit much. I mean, it's not bad. It's just like a how-to.
Is there another diagram besides that one?
That's the only one I know of. The police one.
Mm-hmm.
I have other than that official.
I would like to know which way his feet were turned, because that would be a big thing too. Like if his feet were turned to the left.
If you listen, Joseph Scott Morgan on News Nation with Banfield a while ago. Tia, I think I sent it to you. Like we watched it. Like that's what helped me in terms of understanding like the trajectory entering from the left, like how he was kind of turned to the left and the angle that they were.
So there was a bullet through the window?
Yes, the back window.
And there was no way that wasn't already there? Like,
we don't know.
We just took. I wonder if anyone's asked that.
Because I feel like if they shot guns all the time, like there could have been a possibility that it was already there. And then what gun it came from?
Anything.
Like if
it's a big asshole.
He's pointing the finger at Paul after the fact in every way. It's all either related to something that involved Paul. It was Paul's gun. Paul, we're the boat accident.
I was trying
Everyone was after Paul. Yep, like Paul would leave his gun out. We didn't know, everything. I feel like it's just like he uses it as a scapegoat almost. Like why? Like I don't know where we're missing a gun. Paul leaves the guns everywhere sometimes. It's just like you're pointing you're doing a very good job of identifying that this is related to Paul. That's all I can tell you. That is the only point that he has made clear from this entire, ever since June 7th, 2021. He has made it clear that this had to do with Paul. That is the one thing I'll give him.
All right, so
But he
there's
points
a
the finger at him.
projectile buckshot, that's the shotgun, right? Behind the storage room.
Yes, I love it.
So, column. Hold on, let me see.
Which that's a whole.
So there was
other
a
story.
projectile at the doghouse.
Right.
Uh-huh.
That's from the AR, right?
So what are these like dotted lines on there?
On the
Where it's like
on the,
measuring. Is it just
It's-
a measurement?
it's just
from-
measuring the pole, like the beams and whatever the thing, the columns from where they were, like feet.
the distance, right?
Right.
Mhm.
Which I wanted to bring up the whole funeral home thing. Did you guys know that they allowed that SLED allowed Maggie and Paul to be cremated in time for the funeral? Like the autopsy was rushed through so that they could be in time
Yeah,
cremated.
their
in time.
funeral was like 3 days later or something, like
Right.
super quick.
It was, and
Mhm.
SLED
But
released
not
the
only
bodies.
that, but I'm pretty sure the Murdaughs were in with. I mean, I'm guessing because the Stephen
Because that's
Smith-
where we lean.
Is that the same medical examiner from the person who did the autopsy in the Stephen Smith case? Because in the Stephen Smith case, they just that lady conveniently just went along with something
Mhm.
completely different. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Because he was found in the road. Why did
Because
you
he
say
was hit
that?
by a
Well,
car.
because they found him in the
Mhm.
road. Because they found him in the road. I assumed
Yeah,
it's a hit and
she
run.
like had no freaking reason to go that way and went that way. So I'm wondering if it's the same chick who did Stephen Smith's autopsy, who did their autopsy.
I think it's a
I'll
different
double
one.
check.
I think it's a different one, to be honest.
I
But
do
I
too.
want
I
to
think
say
it's a male that did, but I'm saying that off the cuff and not really.
it was a
knowledgeable.
female that did Stephen Smith, and then
A male that did Maggie and Paul, but he
I
was
believe-
dumb fuck because he had contaminated gloves when he walked on the scene. So that's already,
Regardless.
and he had to have a cop take the pictures because his gloves were contaminated. So there's all that.
he was probably watch the Emmy be the one that was like cleaning out, like going, it was spaghetti in the trash bag. What's that mean? He's like, let me go check the kids now, like check on the people. That's how asinine I think some of this stuff is to a degree. But I think regardless, the Murdaughs had an in with them. I mean, there's pressure probably coming from every angle at this point in terms of
Agreed.
officials.
Wheel
Hey, Wheel. Steps twice
took
that night.
283 steps twice that night.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Show do.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I just think it's hilarious how everyone talks about every testimony is how frequently he's on his phone. He is always messing on his phone. And
So he took
And
more
then-
steps
and then-
earlier in the day, and then after 9:02, he took half the time.
Mhm.
I feel like he would have took more.
Beginning at 6:52 and 9:02, he took half the time to cover 203 steps. Bigger steps.
Oh, so we
Get
took
the hell
more
out of
steps
Dodge.
at 9:02. Is that what you're saying?
Half the time to cover 283 steps. It took the same amount of steps both times, but half the time to
took
cover.
half. Okay,
So bigger
Gotcha.
steps.
gotcha.
Yeah.
I got it now.
Double the pace.
the hell-
Great.
Get the hell out of Dodge.
The car thing, it reminds me of like, he gets home and he's just trying to set everything up perfect before he calls 911, and he probably kept fixing his car to make it look like he just, like Maybe he drove in and was like, oh, maybe I shouldn't be facing this way, or maybe I should like move it. Like it looks like he was overthinking his position of his car, and he was trying to like make it look like he just stumbled in and found them that way. That's like what I got. Like, why would you keep putting the car in park and drive unless you were like, you know, bugging out about how it was positioned when they show up?
I think he was trying to shine the lights on them. That's what I think he was doing. I think he was trying to shine the headlights on them, and how was the best way to like how
come up
along the lines of what you're saying with, you know, positioning the car. But I think he's trying to like figure out, would it be better this way, or should I do it this way? Should I do it this way, or should I do it
let's route them in this way, funnel them in right. Let's go by the channels. We were all over. Let's get that. Let's walk. Let's tread all through there. Let's get the foot.
Yeah, like
traffic,
he was overthinking it.
He is
before they come.
Yep.
Yeah, I got that same feeling.
And then I think he the fact that he called her at 10:03, but yet remember, you add that 10:03 time, like giving Maggie a call at 10:03, dude. You do realize at this point, like you're supposed to be finding her right now.
Yeah, and
like,
you know what really bothered me too? Why would you call Rogan like before most people? He called Rogan like, all right, so I think he called Rogan at like 10:26 or something like that. I forget the exact time, but it's somewhere around that time. He called 911 at 10:07, was on the phone for like 10 minutes. So Rogan was like one of the first people
he called Rogan 5 times. He called Rogan 5 times.
Yeah, like why would you want Rogan at Moselle while his best friend is laying with his brain out of his head? I mean, that's
because he's covering his butt because he knows that because
he's trying to get
to him.
And then he saw
that Rogan was
Rogan is reasonable doubt.
Could have seen or someone else saw Maggie's phone light up. That you can see when we get a text message, mine doesn't give a preview, but it'll say like, Tia Dash. If my phone's on the lock screen and it lights up, maybe someone saw that Rogan, when it says tell Paul to call me, they were like, oh my God, do we get in touch with this? Like,
yeah,
Rogan
or make it look like, or he was going to call Rogan and be like, oh, I'm on my way. Like, oh, I just
look over there. That's what it all is.
Or, make it like try and put doubt in Rogan's head that he was there or something. Like he had some kind of trying to get on top of something. You know what I mean?
There's an angle to it. He's constantly working an angle for sure. I do agree with
me right now, me tonight, me. This is me saying me. And I'm going to go through it again because I think he had a helper bear. I really do. I think there's a cleanup crew. I think while he's at Mom's, there's someone doing some kind of cleanup with guns, shoes, clothing, and what have you at Moselle. Now, who that person is, I'm not sure.
Or he had something pre-set up, like to perfectly hide it there, and like maybe in the little pond thing they had or something. I don't know, but I think that's a big property. I mean, I'm sure there was somewhere on there he could have potentially hid all that stuff in like a preset area where they wouldn't know.
Is a lot.
That's what I mean. They had a whole pond, like
I think
and what's his name was just planting sunflower seeds, so he could have easily buried something over there and be like, "Oh yeah, Paul was just planting sunflower seeds."
And then think
about
this.
3 things that make my head twist around. 1, the mention of sunflower seeds. 2, the mention of the boating accident. Have you heard about the boating accident? I don't know if you guys heard about the boating accident. There's a boating accident. Did you know my son was involved in a boating accident? Boating accident. I feel like SpongeBob at boating school. Like, we're going to boating school. We're going to boating school. You know what I mean? It's like, have you heard about the boating accident? Let me tell you about the boating accident. My son was in a boating accident. We know. And also the sunflowers. Shut the fuck up about Paul and the goddamn sunflowers. If I have to hear about the sunflowers anymore, I'm going to go through the screen. I can't. Like, stop. Paul's going to plant the sunflowers. Really? You don't say. why are we talking about sunflowers and the doves and the whatever?
I bet you
dude.
didn't. They didn't search half that property. I bet you like they didn't search. Like I don't think they ever thought that he did it for a while. So I bet you they left plenty of stuff untouched over there.
I agree, and I just kind of came to that tonight. Tia, have you seen Low Country? Yeah. Oh my god, I'm obsessed with it. Yes, Kez. I've watched it like 3 times, and I will probably fall asleep to it again tonight. Yes.
Did anyone remember Kaz or Tia or Kate real fast before we all fall asleep? When Paul walked out, you know how they showed that the video that I'm confused about of them walking out of the house, like essentially like the Ring camera or whatever it is. You know, when they show Maggie leaving the house in the HBO documentary footage, and then it shows Paul. Does anyone remember? Was he wearing a polo that night, or was that does anyone? Because
in the Ring video?
I
thought so. I thought he was wearing
I thought
that
it was
same.
too, but then I was wondering tonight that picture. It kind of looked like to me. Again, though, I can't really tell.
Because he even said, but they said to him, you were wearing something different out when you were doing.
Yeah, I meant Paul. Was Paul wearing a polo?
Oh no,
when he walked, because they showed like, I believe Maggie was in a white shirt and like those the capri, pedal push pants, and then
I thought he was just in a t-shirt. No,
I couldn't remember it was a t-shirt and like the shorts. I could just remember him walking out and just kind of looking down, and I was trying to remember I just remember it being a darker top, like he had, and I couldn't remember if it was a polo or not. But I was trying to remember. I was trying to figure out if that was actually taken the same night or if they were just using old, giving some old Ring footage of Paul or Maggie for dramatic purposes kind of deal. Repurposing or reusing it.
The fancy soul.
I'd really love to know how much of that property they searched, to be honest.
Not much.
If they actually like dug up any areas or looked for like any disturbed dirt or anything like that on all the property. I feel like after today,
that guy was kind of cavalier today. He was kind of like, "Yeah, we searched it, but it was nighttime, so we had to come back when it was daytime." And I was,
we just drove by the area on the way to whatever. Like it sounds like they did, but they
cursory search.
Officer Green is probably like. Officer Gree's probably like, that's why I drove. That's why I didn't go directly there. I missed the turn on purpose because I wanted to just make sure there was nothing else, no one out. Like I didn't see a getaway car. There's no activity. And then I turned around and went up to the kennels.
Okay, Braze, there's a lot in that comment that I want to break down at some point. And I don't disagree. Footprints are repair, don't you think? Yes and no. Yeah. It would be risky, but yes, it would be risky. And let's talk about that for a second. But if I'm talking this through while I'm. By the way, let me just say this. It is 2 in the damn morning here. What are 27 people doing now? Go to sleep.
I'm dropping I'm dropping Kate's link in the chat right this second.
Oh my gosh, yes.
Sorry,
yes, Kate has an amazing channel.
And I know we have bitch bot, but I've got a whole running list. I got it right here. Kate, that's crime.
Yeah, Kate's got a really great channel. You got to tune into her. She does amazing lives.
I'm back. Thank you.
You're welcome. Ellie might have destroyed integrity of the crime scene.
I agree, but I feel like it was so big. Like, you don't even realize how big this place is. Like, it's not just the area they show. They have, it's huge.
It spans 2 counties.
Yeah.
2 counties.
Hell, they have 8 properties in Colton County alone.
Well, right, but the Moselle, we're talking about the 1,700 acres of Moselle being so humongous. How could you even cursory search that? How could you do that in
No
the
way.
in the time frame that was given. They knew the AR-15. That's what I thought too. I was going to say, do you think they could have been disassembled that fast? I was wondering that.
Oh, I don't know about this. Anything about disassembling guns?
I
or
don't
how fast
either.
you can do it. I couldn't answer that.
Sandy type of
The
soil.
sandy type soil footprints should be everywhere. And they did have footprints everywhere. My grandpa has 1,000 acres and it's insanely big. I can't see the house. No. Like, you're talking miles of property.
Mm-hmm.
You're talking miles. Let's just see.
I think he could have easily hid something on that property without them knowing. I mean, it would take them forever to search it. And it seems like they did a lot of like digging and uplifting in the dirt in their pond. They drained the water, and I just think that there is a lot of potential areas, or at least temporarily. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
What was that question? Does anyone know why AM called Maggie to come to Moselle compared to when he was confronted by a bookkeeper? So no one AM called Maggie. I believe when Maggie was texting about I believe she got messages around 3:55 that afternoon talking to friends, and I believe it was maybe even Barbara, her friend Barbara, that she mentioned about Alec wanting her to come, being worried about him a little bit and going to visit his dad. But she also then talked about going to Moselle and going to help Alec or whatnot at around 7:50 that evening when she was texting with Blanca Simpson. And so that would be, well, that's actually kind of interesting, about in the afternoon around 3:55. And Jeannie said he
didn't
was
leave
still
his
in the
work.
office.
Yeah, he didn't leave till after 6.
right.
They said.
Okay,
So
actually that's interesting.
after
That's
6
an
o'clock.
Carl. So basically, though, if she was already talking about it, I think it's in our spreadsheet earlier that afternoon around 3:55. It's noted somewhere. So yeah, I guess she did. He had asked her to come after. There's a chance that he did ask her to come after Jeannie spoke to him in office, or around the time that potentially Jeannie had talked to him. I never even thought about that. But did he call Maggie before or after he was confronted? I'll have to look back at it.
I don't know what time he was confronted.
Based on what we've been given for.
I think it was like maybe late afternoon.
That's what I
You guys think?
no, it had to be like early. It had to be morning.
I was thinking it was earlier.
Because she
early
was
after
shocked that he
mid-morning.
was still there at 4:30 when he called her about the 401k. She remember he called her about the 401k and she was like, "What's he still doing here? The dad is in the hospital." He was all like in a fluster. She went into friend mode. So I don't have a time for that off the top of my head. If anyone else does, I'd be willing to hear it. But I know it was earlier in the day because she was surprised that he was still there at 4:30.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It's late, you guys. I am so grateful for each person that popped in. Oh, actually, hold on a second. Well, I wanted to leave, but now these comments are coming in. They're so interesting. Absolutely failed investigation. I'm thinking the guns are broken down in the raincoat. But did they have time, TH? Do you know? Just asking. From an uneducated person. Because I wondered the same thing. I heard told friends something. Yes, Wheel, that is true. And you know what we could do is just go through like front to back the timeline time frame and kind of go through so that people are a little bit. We have there's so much information though. I keep thinking about it. It was vetted. Okay. Kez, thank you for being here. I'm so glad that you were here. And I'm so sorry for being a squirrel, but it is 2:06 in the morning. And all of a sudden I just hit a brick
I
wall.
didn't even realize it was that late.
Man,
but I want to thank you guys for being here.
I am getting tired though. I can see it in my eyes.
Like rubbing my hands all over my face. Does anyone know who is starting off tomorrow in court? Did it say? Is it who was last on the stand? Are we done?
Last was that not the
Was it
not the
sled guy?
detective, but the other guy with the dark hair.
Mhm.
Did they do the cross? Like, are we picking up with him tomorrow, or is anyone? I can't remember.
I think they might be crossing him tomorrow, but I'm not totally sure.
Yeah, I'm not 100% on that either. Because I didn't see the afternoon session.
I didn't watch that guy. I watched everything but that guy's questioning. So I'm not sure if he was crossed, but I don't think he was, but I'm not sure.
Well, maybe we'll someone just I've got it set to record on the TV too. I like to just have it to be able to look at it on the big screen sometimes without having to play it. Someone just yelled out.
So hopefully he doesn't wake me. I'm gonna try and sleep till like 9 at least, not 7:30.
Thanks, Katie Braze, and thank you guys for being here, and thank you for showing up with us while we talk through some of this stuff. I really appreciate it, and of course, thank you, Kate, for being here.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you for having me.
You can. I love that you just drop in. You're like, drop the link. We're like, okay, hold on. I'm really glad you popped in because you should have gone to the game, Chris.
We do need to have a game night, though. I need to do that.
Yeah, you do need to do a game night. That was so much fun.
That was fun.
Oh my gosh, I can think of some great, funny things. Like, I love filling out the sentence or whatever, how it starts. We have to write down what sentence
I could
or whatever
probably do it tomorrow or probably Friday night. I could probably do
Friday would be fun. That would be a lot of fun.
I will be definitely catch the replay because there's a great video. Everyone, please be sure to go and be sure to sub to Mob Crew and to check out that 5 minute 16 second video he did debunking Alex's alibi.
Yes, we put the link in earlier. Go check it out.
Yes.
And Will, thanks for being here. MK, your information is on point as always. We value you. Should have gone to the game, Chris. Best night. It's the best name on YouTube.
And people voted. And people actually voted on that one. That's the true story.
Oh yeah, and if we do game night, everyone in chat. Well, I can have up to like 14 people play. So if people in chat want to play too.
Oh my God, you have to play this game. Kate, tell them what the game is before we go because it's so much fun.
It's hard to even explaining. It doesn't do its like due diligence, but it's called Gardic Phone, and it's basically like Whisper Down the Lane, but with like drawing. So basically, everyone writes a goofy sentence, whatever you want, like. Somebody like they'll give you a weird sentence, and if you want to keep it, that's fine. Or if you want to write your own, the one was like a turtle hugging the corn. All right, and then you have to then all the sentences randomly get dispersed to different people, and then the next person has to draw those sentences. So everybody draws the sentence as best they can, and then they get randomly sent to a different person. And then they have to describe it in words, and then it gets sent to another random person who has to draw it. And it's kind of like Whisper Down the Lane. And it's funny to see, like,
the interpretation of the drawings
Yeah.
and like how we start with the sentence like the banana ran across the road or whatever, and then it turns it's like a dinosaur by the end. It was the funniest
it turns
damn
into something
thing.
completely different by the end, and you're like, how did it even get here? And then at the end they show the whole entire, like they make like a meme out of the whole entire thing and show how it got from one thing to the next and how the person drew it, and it's really funny. We were like cracking up.
We were cracking up because I was using a mouse and I was drawing stick figures that were like redonkulous, and Picasso over there is like shading her things in. I'm like, this is not fair. This is not fair at all.
It's hard to play on your phone, I will say. You got to play like on the computer, because I can't even imagine drawing on like a little thing on my phone. I wouldn't be able to do it.
It was so funny. But yeah, we have to, I'll tell you what, you guys, if for some reason she decides to do it the next day or two, we need to share that, because that was so much fun to play. And it was just good
I
for
could do a
laughs.
Friday night for sure.
That'd be awesome. That would be awesome. All right, you guys, have a great night, a great day at this point. And I hope everyone has if those of us who are going to bed, restful sleep. Go to your favorite creator, go to Kate's, like all her videos, leave a comment, be kind to each other. Thank you for all the information that you guys have been providing us. We love it. Oh, you got a 15-inch, you don't do streams on. So see, that's the way to do it right there. That's
I do that during the day while I'm watching trials and stuff.
That's what I do.
On YouTube on my TV.
And if you guys would like to contribute to Decipher, we of course value you and love that. Thank you. We work really hard and we try to present. We're trying to do better at presenting our work, which we love to do. So we're trying. You
do a great job presenting. I love it.
We work hard, but we don't present it. It's been in the back for a long time. So whatevs. I'll talk to you guys later. Have a great night.
Thank you all so much.
Kate.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye, y'all.